To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So as you know, we run off solar panels. We got 1,000 watts of solar panels. It provides pretty much all the energy we need. The solar panels go into a charge controller. This is all very confusing. Now I have made videos about this before, and I'll put a link to one of those videos that explains this in much more detail. At the end of this video, it'll be up here around my face somewhere. Just click the box that pops up. And then the charge controller charges the batteries. I got, what, 5 or 6? I don't remember now. Batteries, lead acid batteries. And now we have plenty of power for the shortest days of the year. We're coming up on the shortest days. I think we got less than a month, and then the days will start getting longer. So we got enough power to get us through the night now. I may get one more battery just for the sake of having an extra battery, but the panels charge everything we need. Now on cloudy days, things get a little bit more difficult, and we have to run a generator. Generator is really easy to run. We have a little Champion 2,000 watt inverter generator. These things are very quiet. I think it's at 56 decibels. You can literally stand next to it and have a conversation. It doesn't run very fast. And as your appliance, whatever your appliance is, needs more power, this speeds up to get more power and then runs it back down. I really like this. I've had this one through, I guess, coming up on 3 years. It's starting to get old and cranky. I use it a lot, so it happens. We got airplanes flying over. They're playing war games. I mean, they're really at it today. I use this probably once a week. When we were nomads, I'd use it every day for 8 hours a day. 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. I can't see them. They've been flying all over the place, so I apologize for the noise. So now I use it primarily, like I said, to charge batteries once a week just to get a little maintenance charge, because I use lead acid batteries. I also use it to run the well pump. I could run the well pump off the solar panels, but it just doesn't run as long. I can run it for 15 minutes and then I got to shut it off, let them charge back up. But this way, it's just easier. So I use the generator, but I wouldn't have to. In an emergency crisis, I wouldn't have to. This thing uses about a gallon of gas every 11 hours. It just sips gas. It would provide a good amount of electricity for your freezer and refrigerator, probably both. If they didn't both kick on at the same time, because when your refrigerator or your generator kicks on, it doubles in power, sometimes triples in power. There's a mathematical formula you can have for that. If both of them kicked on at the same time, it wouldn't work. But if one was running and the other one kicked on, there'd be enough power for this to pull it. You can get a Honda generator, but they're so much more expensive. They're double the price as a little Champion generator. You can buy this at the Tractor Supply Company. It's a store, I don't know. I think that most states have one. You can buy them online. Everybody claims the Honda's so great. They're about 2 decibels quieter than this thing. The longevity of it, I would say this thing's doing fine. I actually had a Honda generator sitting next to this generator. Couldn't tell the difference between the two, to be honest. Now you could get an industrial strength generator. Those just run really fast. They don't last very long because they're just constant high RPMs. These are a little bit more expensive than the industrial strength. Of course, $400, or you probably get one equivalent of an industrial generator for $200, maybe half price. But I really like these. Like I said, it sips gas. The industrial generators, you probably use a gallon of gas every 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. If you're gonna get a generator for backup needs of your house, it would be, I think, personally, it'd be worth the money to go get one of these little inverter generators. As winter is approaching, we all are gonna have to start thinking about power outages. It's a bad time to have a power outage in the wintertime. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I can take my food outside and freeze it outside. And you could get coolers and different things, take all your food outside. On the other hand, if you had a generator, you could just plug it in, let the generator run for a couple hours, shut it off, a couple hours, turn it back on for a couple hours, and your food would stay pretty fresh. Now, if it's in the summertime, you'd almost have to do that. There's no way to take your food outside. But last year, I guess about February, Texas hit a winter storm and it was devastating to the folks in Texas. So I wanted to kind of go through some emergency scenarios and how you could have some power so you don't have to suffer quite as much. So I'm going to start this generator up real quick. I'm going to turn on my well. We'll get the water running so I can talk to you about something that I've discovered. Okay, it's on high now. I'll turn it on low. I don't know if you can tell the difference. So that's how loud it is. I mean, I'm talking to you. I'm not having to holler, just regular voice. That's what it runs on, just regular speed. I'll turn it on high so I can run my well. She's getting kind of grumpy, like I said, old and grumpy. It's got to warm up for about 2 minutes now before it'll take the well. On these colder days, it's like, I don't want to play in these colder days. So, but it's still a really good generator. I mean, I keep thinking I probably should buy a new one, but Tractor Supply store is probably 50 miles from here. If this one broke, I could just run to town real quick, go get another one. So now we'll be able to fill our water tank. I've got a 275 gallon IBC tank, and I chlorinate the water so it doesn't get algae and it purifies it. The chlorination will evaporate off, so it's not like it's going to make you sick. And I do this every other day. Carolyn did laundry yesterday, so it was a little bit more water than normal. We got about 100 gallons to fill up today. If you want to know how to chlorinate your water, you can find that information on Google, FDA's website. It tells you how much to put in. Now you can just hear that generator. It's doing a great job. This thing is a 3/4 horsepower pump that is pushing. Yeah, I think that's don't quote me here. I looked it up a long time ago. So that's almost like 1,000 watts, close to 1,000 watts. So it's a 2,000 watt generator. Now remember, you also got the peak. We talked about that with the refrigerator. It has to double in power on startup. So that's why the generator struggled to get going, was because it has to get up to 2,000 watts right real quick like that without being warmed up. Now I know there's going to be some people that can't afford a generator or solar panels or anything that back up emergency supply. But I wanted to point out that a lot of people have a generator sitting in their driveway. I have one, and it does the same exact thing as that generator down there does. It's right here. This thing produces just as much watts. I'm not sure. Each car produces a little bit more or less. Pickup trucks produce big pickup trucks produce quite a bit more power. So my setup has an inverter. All solar systems have an inverter. You go from DC electric to AC electric. So a car is DC electric. Your house is AC electric. So in order to make your car into a generator like that down there, you just put this inverter here. Now you can buy these inverters at Walmart. Go to the automotive section and you can buy it. You can probably get 1,000 watts or 800 watt inverter for 50 to 100 bucks. You can buy them on Amazon. I mean, they're not that expensive. This one is not a pure sine wave. You can get pure sine wave or modified sine wave. This is modified sine wave. I'm quite happy with modified. You'll pay a little bit more for pure sine wave. This is a 12 volt system. Your car is 12 volts. It's about 12.5 actually. But you know, you buy a 12 volt battery. That's what you're familiar with. When you are charging your system, you're going to get up to 14 point, this is a little high actually, should get about 14.5 volts. So that means it's charging the battery, and then when the battery's charged, it'll drop back down to 12.5. But all you got to do with the inverter, you can see that there's little plugins right here. Got 3 of them. You can plug your refrigerator in that. Now this is the nice thing about this, is if you lived in like a duplex or small apartment complex, you know, not something in the city, but a small apartment, your car's in the driveway, you could plug in your freezer, turn your car on, put the inverter on. You could even lower the hood so it doesn't look all trashy. You can lower it down a little bit. You could actually make it where your inverter is attached inside your car somewhere so it doesn't even look like it's open. I mean, you can really do some nice things with it. This isn't hard to do. It comes with its own power cords. So you got positive to positive, negative to negative. So black wire to black wire, red wire to red wire. That's how hard this is. Anybody can do that, anybody. There's no science to that. Red to red, black to black. Turn on your inverter, run an extension cord from the car to your freezer. Now, somebody noted last time I talked about this, that don't run your car in the garage, obviously. You run your car in the garage, you're gonna risk carbon monoxide poisoning. Open the garage door, back the car out of the garage. Depends on the alternator, but you would have enough to run a freezer easily. Now, I mean, our little generator doesn't even notice our refrigerator. The refrigerator's probably 120 watts, maybe 150 watts. The car should handle that just fine. I do know that when we were nomads, that alternator would run a little space heater. We had a little, I forget what it was, 500 watt space heater. It easily ran that. If you keep your car full and you have a power outage, all you got to do is come out, start your car, put the inverter on, and run an extension cord. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he says, I have a heated jacket for his motorcycle. And he says the battery lasts 8 hours. He says, but I'm going to have to get another battery. That way, if we ever go on a trip, you know, I'll have enough battery to replace and we can just keep on going. And I said, you don't have an inverter? He says, yeah, I got a little, I don't know what size it was. I said, yeah, if you hook the inverter up to your motorcycle, you would be able to power it quite easily. He says, well, I don't want to hurt the alternator. Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt the alternator at all. It may drain the battery down, at which case the inverter is going to shut off. So you don't have to monitor anything. So you have a massive power supply right there that could take care of everything you need. This is how you become off-grid, is you start thinking outside the box a little bit. So again, if you'll check out that video, it shows you how to hook up solar panels. I'd really appreciate it. It tells the algorithm that you like this video and that you so much so that you're willing to watch another video. So I hope I can inspire you to be better prepared for the next power outage that you endure, so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.